All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all really know this is 18 Outdoors. I'm glad y'all are stopping by to check us out. And today we're going to be talking about some planning for out-of-state hunts. But we're getting ready. And first things off, if y'all don't know or haven't known or whatever, I wrote a book last year. So if y'all kind of interested, you can get on Amazon, purchase it, and pretty interesting book for most people's thoughts. It's got some tips on there. It's got exact situations on some of the big deer or all the big deer that are killed, and some other hunts, some unique tricks and tactics that we use for scouting and stuff. So if you don't mind, Amazon, and check it out if you don't care. We've been out scouting some, getting ready for this season. Got this shed found a couple weeks ago. Nothing been chewed up, but it's this year's shed. So anyway. We're doing some more scouting and stuff and getting ready, because you're always planning for the season coming up for try to concentrate and get ready for your another target buck or target buck. So, and that's what we're doing. So another thing a lot of people are doing right now is they're getting ready to go out of state. So if you're interested in going out of state, right now there's a couple hot states that's on everybody's mind, and that's Iowa and Kansas. So if you're interested, you need to. One good thing about it is preference points, how you can do it and how you can plan your hunt. So Kansas is going on right now for a drawing or preference points, and then Iowa will start up next month. Them two big buck states. They're very talked about right now. They're very limited on how many tags they give out to non-residents. So one thing about it you can do with the preference points is you can buy them now and start planning, for the next 3 to 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. I think Iowa, on the best places, it might take 6 years or so to draw an archery tag, and that's for Iowa. That's what you really want is the archery tags, I guess, if you're a rut hunter, because that's during the rut. So the other hunts is it's pretty much after the rut. So archery starts before it. So I've only been to a couple states deer hunting. Iowa's one of them on late season muzzleloader. It's a good hunt, seen plenty of deer. Tougher on the big ones. Passed up a couple smaller ones. I went to Illinois one year and passed up 2 younger ones, and it got close to the rut here, and I had to come on back to Alabama. But anyway, a good state also. It's not as good as it used to be due to some laws that they've changed and some of the pressure they've put on the deer now. So the only other place that I've been to really out of state is Wyoming, and that's a cool place to go. Mule deer hunted out there and antelope hunted, and killed one whitetail with a bow, a couple mule deer with a bow, and some with a gun. We're buying preference points out there right now to elk hunt. I think I got about 10 or 11 elk points for me and my brother, and 4 or 5 mule deer points, maybe more than that now, maybe 6. But anyway, Kathy's got some antelope points. We plan on going back there sometime. So the cool thing about the preference point thing is, like I say, is you can plan that ahead of time. You can kind of get on the websites and see what it takes to draw these areas, then figure out, well, so if it takes 6 in Iowa to draw a good place, well, you can kind of plan that out in 6 years and have the money and stuff like that. And then whenever you get ready to go, you can just put in and pretty much draw and be set to go, get your vacation schedule and stuff like that. So, Wyoming the same way. You can kind of figure out what it takes and put in and get these points. And then whenever you get ready to hunt, when you know you got enough points to draw, you just put in and draw. So cool stuff to do, and a cool concept, is to do that, because you can put in. So like right now, I bought Iowa point last year. I bought, Wyoming. And so this year we're going to put in, me and a couple guys are going to put in for Kansas. If we get drawed, we get drawed. If not, we're getting a point. So be building up points for Iowa, for Wyoming, and for Kansas. And then that's a couple mule deer or a mule deer place, and then possible 3 whitetail states, and you can kind of rotate out, alternate it, especially if you're ready to do hunts about every year. Then I always have like a backup plan or something. Them guys I'm going with this year, we're putting in for Kansas. If we don't get drawed up, we're going to go to over-the-counter state, Missouri. So I believe is what we're going to do, and be ready to do that for a backup. So kind of have that planned out. So that's one thing about doing the point system is you can plan that way ahead of time. And if you're interested in doing other hunts like sheep hunts and, you know, lower 48 moose hunts and you know, mountain goat hunts, stuff like that in lower 48, especially if you're a younger cat, you can buy these preference points, build these preference points up till you know about how many it takes. Some states it's going to take 15 points, might take more than that for the sheep and the mountain goats and the moose, you know, Shiras moose and stuff like that. Some very cool, unique hunts. There's not that many states that you can go hunt these animals, but hey, there's a few, and you can put in these preference points and do them. You know, that's one of my plans, or that I would like to do, and I put in for a sheep hunt in New Mexico this year, a drawing. And that's one thing about New Mexico is they don't have a preference point system. It's just an open draw, so that kind of makes that tough as far as something like that. But you're just as about as lucky as anybody else that's been doing it for years. You know, as may have been the first time. You know, they give more tags to the residents versus the non-residents. So, and they give more toward the guides. If you put them through a guide, you'll get a better odds. So, kind of look into that too. And there are also some services out there that you can look up, and you can send them some money or apply for some kind of membership, and they will send you something to fill out on your dream list and stuff like that, and they can put in all the areas and all the states that they know that will be a good idea to put for drawing for, and do that for you that way. Because some of the paperwork and some of the online stuff is tough to kind of do and kind of figure out for somebody like me, you know, some of these old rednecks that don't know a whole lot about paperwork and computer savvy and stuff like that. But there's plenty of options to do that. Like I say, you can get a service to help you do that, and you can plan out a lot of years, you know. And then I wish I knew about this stuff years ago with the preference points, or I'd have been on it for trying to do a sheep or a mountain goat, you know, and maybe a Shiras moose and stuff like that, because I like doing something different every now and then. And that moose hunt, you know, I've done a one in Canada and stuff, but a lower 48, that Shiras moose, that's a tough draw. But there's some cool areas you can go do that in, Wyoming and I think Utah and some other places. But think about this stuff, and like I say, right now we're trying to, you know, you're planning for this coming season already. You know, you're doing your scouting, you know, you're e-scouting, and then now it's for drawings. You're putting in for drawings. Some states have already stopped the drawings, especially on elk. You know, they've already got that took care of, and you'll be finding out your results here before too long. But the deers are starting now, so, and that's if you're interested, hey, I'm gonna get this video put up here pretty quick and try that way y'all can think about it. But Kansas has started right now. I think going through like the 28th of the month or something. Then Iowa will start like first Saturday in May or something like that. So be ready for that if you're interested in something like that. Because Iowa, you know, that's a dream state. Kansas is a dream state for the big buck whitetails. Kind of also do some research and have an idea of what you want to kill. You know, if you're one of 120 up, if you're archery hunting, rifle hunting, you know. And do some research that you can call biologists and stuff like that in these states, and they will give you ideas on what you can look for, and what way you can set your goals, you know. So, you know, archery hunting, you know, Alabama, you know, most people not ever going to kill a Pope and Young buck in Alabama. There's not that many of them. We don't really have the genetics for that. You know, you can kill one, but it's tough. I've only killed one, so, and one Boone and Crockett, you know, and that Boone and Crockett thing, that's, you know, that's a dream come true. I mean, you know, even the Pope and Young, you know, that was my dream, and that happened. But in Alabama, that's tough. So if you want a better odds of it, you know, it's going to places like Iowa, you know, Kansas, you know, it used to be Illinois, you know, Kentucky's still a good one, you know, I think they're over the counter, so you can do that. But public land, you know, it's tougher, so, because you're going to have to, you know, it's a real popular thing about out-of-state deer hunting now, so you're going to have to deal with a lot of people, so you're going to have to plan how you're going to access and try to get away from people, and be prepared with what kind of gear you're going to need. If you're going to carry a kayak, you know, canoe, boat, you know, hip waders or whatever, and plan on being able to use that stuff and get to the places, you know, out of the way from other people, you know. And then of course your topo stuff, you know, look at that, where it's Onyx, Barton Forge, or Hunt Stand or whatever, is trying to find you some areas and get them kind of planned out ahead of time. And if you got the opportunity, you know, you can go ahead and go pre-scout like right now, and you know, now's a good time to be pre-scouting in northern places and maybe shed hunting and stuff like that. So get that kind of planned out what you want to do, you know, and then get ready to get the tag stuff put in. And one thing else to think about is whenever some of them places, whenever you put in for them, they're going to hold the whole tag money, you know, for a month or two or whatever. So if it's $500-600 for the tag, they're going to hold that until the drawing. Then they'll give it back to you minus a fee. So another thing is you can do it as a group. You know, the group thing is what I do. That's the best thing. That way, if you want to go with some buddies, if one draw y'all drew, if somebody, the first person to do it, he'll set up a group number account. Then everybody else that puts in, they'll use that group number. That way, one guy don't have to write the whole check or use his credit card for all 3 of you or 5 of you, however many is going. So you just all get on there and the money comes out of individual credit cards, whatever. So, and then, you know, then you'll be ready. So, and then if one draw, like I say, if one draws y'all draw, then you'll be upset. So, y'all get this stuff to think about, do it, and be ready. You know, the season's gonna be here before you know it. So, get plans on it, get out and find some sheds and stuff like that.